This is what I will say. That's too loud. That is too fucking loud. What the fuck? Why is that so loud? And don't you look at me like that. I'm not late. I had Steve, the floor guy, had to come in today and take measurements because I'm having the kitchen floor ripped up and the bathroom floor is getting ripped up and there's all type of demolition and destruction. I told you guys that. Happy Monday, everybody. Hold on, I got to share this out. Please share the feed if you haven't. It is helpful. Groups on your story. They have like a lot of join some podcast groups or like live stream groups and share the feed out there too. That helps too. So I know I'm gonna share it out now, and they'll probably kick me out of all these groups. But fuck them. What's the point of all these guys having all these groups if just to reject and deny people? It's almost like, oh, let's make a group so we can have this inside club and reject people. That's all right. I'm no stranger to that. How was you guys' weekend? I know mine was filled with laughter and joy. I got to see Hans doing some break dancing. And when I do mean break, I mean, break bones. Podcast, anything goes. Podcast network, independent podcast community, podcast promotion. Let's just go. Let's do it all. We're going to do a spam share. I want you all to share the shit. Today we're going to learn about how the guitar has evolved. We're going to look at some lighthearted stuff, and then we got some basic music industry news. But look at this. We're going to learn today the history of the guitar. See, there's just no bands that are coming on talking about this stuff. It's important. 1 minute. We're going to do podcast group, share your music, share your podcast. These are all goofy little groups that I'm sure will block me and gatekeep. But fuck it. We got to do what we got to do, right? Bands, fans, Facebook friends, YouTube. I don't know where else we're broadcasting, but wherever you are, I do this live stream each morning at 10:30, and we talk about the most current, around the clock news and stories that are directly related to the music industry, social media, and technology. It's like one-stop shopping. Except you don't shop for anything. You actually don't. We don't get anything but knowledge. That's all we could do. New England podcast community. Let's get in there. I'm sure they'll probably pull the plug on me at some point. We're just going to keep sharing this, and then we'll start up. That's good enough for me. How was you guys this weekend? Do you guys have any interesting news yourself to share? Hey, Chad, what's up, man? I love y'all for taking some time to hang out with me this morning. Patrick says, good morning, my friend. Did it go well? I wish I could have been there. It did. Shout out to bands Bogrot, Intake, of course, the amazing Bayside High and Scarecrow Hill. So it was for the most part, it was a female-fronted night. The only two bands that weren't, for lack of a better term, female-fronted was Intake and Scarecrow Hill. But yeah, a lot of clean singers, a lot of melody. It was like a gothic. There was some rapping. There was so many different. There was so many different flavors, and it just goes to show that when it comes to New England metal, when it comes to New England hard rock, rock and roll, there's absolutely no reason to be competitive because everyone, oh man, they just bring such a quality of personality and talent on their own. I don't think there's anything you could do to size it up. I mean, Scarecrow Hill is just so good at what they do. Um, why why wouldn't you just want to, completely support and fan out on the contributions that they have made? They're such a great band and great personalities in human beings and people. And fuck all the bullshit. They make some killer music, man. If you guys are not into this shit, you're late. You really are. I hope I get to see a show with. I've always said if I was a a bona fide booking agent, I would definitely book. I would book Scarecrow Hill, Inverter, and my guys there. Oh goodness, they're my favorite. Definitely Inverter, Scarecrow Hill, and my buddies from Maine. Paradise is canceled. That's who I would have. Those three bands on the bill would be killer. Somebody tag Legion of Solace and tell them, put together a Legion of Solace bill. Legion of Solace presents Inverter, Scarecrow Hill, and Paradise is canceled. I'll buy a ticket. The fans have spoken. No, it was a good weekend. It was a lot of fun. I love the Raven. I'll tell you what. If you watch the videos, it probably doesn't help. But it is extremely hard to hear. If you don't have in-ear monitors, it's hard to hear on that stage. So I thought we were playing too slow all night. So as a result, I think I was playing a little fast. Huh. Yeah, my band did really well. I think out of all the people that could have done a little bit better, it might have been me. It's not too often I feel like the weak link, but I gotta say that, I gotta keep it real. I always keep it real. You guys know me. If there's any person that could have done a lot better this weekend, I think it could have been me. I just hold myself at that standard. I wish I could have done a little bit more performance, and I wish I could have done a little bit more for accuracy, singing and participating. You know what it really was is that at sometimes I felt like I could hear Melissa really well, and then there were other times I felt it was difficult. So I didn't want to interrupt her good singing, basically. You know what I mean? If I know she's doing well and I'm not sure that I am, I'm just gonna stop doing that. You know what I mean? If I hit a couple bad notes and I go, okay, well, I'm hitting some bad notes and this is a technical thing. I can't hear anything. Then I'll try to play guitar a little bit more and focus on hitting good notes and staying in tune. Melissa's a great singer and she doesn't need a backup singer. That's just how we started off. But I can't really say that that's something we need to do. She can hold her own for sure. All right. So let's take a look at this today. This is it's an article from 2018. So there might be like newer articles about guitar. I read through a couple and I thought this would be a fun one because it just includes stringed instrument history, and I mean it's it's a bit to read, but just bear with me. And I mean what's more American than a guitar, right? Or so we think. Hold on, let me grab a fresh coffee. 1 second. All right. What the fuck is this? That's a weird pop-up. See you later, Joel. Have a nice day. So, stringed instruments. The history of stringed instruments. YouTube stars of today shred the guitar with innovative, mind-blowing riffs and licks that are changing music forever. Many don't realize the guitar, or some version of it, has existed since the dawn of time. The exact origin of the guitar is still a mystery. The word guitar probably comes from the ancient Greek word kithara. Mythology attributes Hermes with creating the first kithara from a tortoise shell, but many likenesses of Apollo show him with this instrument. Whew, that's a long time ago, guys. This instrument had a wooden soundboard and a box-shaped body or resonator. Two hollow arms connected by a crossbar extended from the resonator. The instrument originally had 3 strings running from the crossbar to its lower end, passing over a bridge on the soundboard. Later versions had as many as 12 strings. The ancient musician typically played the strings with a plectrum. If you guys don't know what that is, that's a pick. Yep. For people out there that don't know, a plectrum is a pick. So the ancient musicians typically played the strings with a plectrum, which is an early version of the modern pick. The player would use his or her left fingers to dampen unwanted strings and, at times, stop the strings or produce harmony with their left hand. Solo musicians would sometimes pluck the strings with fingers from both hands. Holding a kithara is similar to holding a guitarra. You like that? And musicians would often use the early equivalent of the guitar strap with an over-the-shoulder band. I like this. The history and shape of guitars. Shape and history of guitars. The history of the guitar generally goes back to 2 instruments, the oud and the lute, which predate written history. Did y'all see what the fuck they just said? Holy shit. The history of the guitar generally goes back to 2 instruments, I think I'm saying this right, oud and the lute, which predate written history. God damn. They were playing music before they were fucking writing history. That should be right there, is what I'm talking about. Son of a bitch. I've been talking about this. This is what I mean when I say music is not an economy. That's what I'm talking about. That is fucking mind-blowing. It's fucking crazy. Many say, and they do, motherfuckers, many say that a man known as Lamech, who was Noah's grandfather and the 6th grandson of Adam and Eve, designed the Arab precursor to the guitar. Lamech was apparently inspired to design the shape of the instrument known as the oud after hanging the body of his dead son from a fucking tree. I don't know if I should clap for that, but that's fucking nuts. The Moors brought out the oud with them when they invaded southern Spain. They were like, we're about to go invade some villages and shit. Yo, somebody bring the beats. Like, they couldn't invade motherfuckers without music. They was like, you know what? When we're going to invade people, we need to fucking jam out after that. I mean, what are we going to do? We got all this food and vagina. Now, of course, we need some music. All right. That's crazy. Did y'all hear what they said about the boy's body? Lamech was apparently inspired to design the shape of the instrument known as the oud after hanging the body of his dead son from a tree. Woo! What the fuck? Now, if there ain't nothing more metal than that, I don't know how metal that is, actually. But I think that's fucking crazy and gruesome and brutal. What do you guys think about that so far? What do you guys think about that? Don't you, I mean, this is why this is a fucking crazy program. You're not going to hear this shit anywhere else on Facebook. This is some shit. Nobody ever would think. There's no one out here providing information. Nobody would ever think that this information was even available. It might have gone another 3 billion years unless I uncovered it here today on my band page. You see what I'm saying? He fucking hung his dead son from a tree and was looking at it like, you know what? That would make a nice instrument. Damn. So don't think you're metal. I don't think you're a killer. Imagine that. You hang your dead relatives off of trees and shit, and you're like, you know what? That'd make a nice ensemble. That's crazy. Talk about having writer's block. You're like, you know what? I just killed this motherfucker. I'm making genres. Kid drove me crazy. Kid drove me so crazy, I made a whole genre out that motherfucker. Golly. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. This is crazy, right? Like, who knew that the history of the guitar was so wild already? We haven't even got this is before, this is 711 AD. We haven't even got into the good shit. The shape from the 15th century to the present day. The lute came in a variety of shapes and sizes, but generally had a curved back. The instrument passed from the Egyptians to the Greeks, and then on to the Romans, who took it to Europe. The first ancient pictorial record of a lute-like string instrument first appeared in 3500 to 2300 BCE in the southern Mesopotamian Iraq, which is now Nasiriyah City. Yeah. The image depicts a female crouching on a boat. The position of her hands on the instrument indicates that she is playing an instrument. Long and short-necked varieties of lutes continued to appear in pictorial records throughout Mesopotamian and Egyptian history. Metropolitan Museums of New York, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and the British Museum display many of these examples and pictorial records on clay tablets and papyrus paper. So what I think is interesting here is how the art all told the story at that time. You know, this is before AI and Bluetooth and stuff like that. We used art in music to tell our stories. We used images and we used songs to tell stories and to keep traditions alive. Don't you think that that's interesting? Yeah. Yep. I just think that's really interesting. I'm always reminding people that I promise you that music isn't man-made. Like, man can participate in music, but We didn't create music. Man did not create vibration, you know. Man did not create frequencies, you know. So that's why I'm always saying music. I mean, the animals were doing music before people, if you want to be real. I mean, before iTunes, you know, whales and porpoises and shit, they've been singing for centuries. They have intelligent songs that they sing. They have cultural songs that they sing. Of course, there are all kinds of primates and mammals and birds and other creatures that create vibrations and communicate with musical sounds also. Han says, if you want to think about it, really animals are the first musicians. Well, you know, if you want to really think about it, the universe is the first instrument. See, we're all playing music, you know, because we're in the universe. The universe is an oscillating, vibrative experience. Do you understand? This is an experience, life, death, the universe, music, all of it is a vibrative experience of extremes, hots, colds, hards, softs, quiets, louds, and most of the time when we're looking at how hot or something cold, we don't realize that there really is no degree that cold becomes hot. There is no degree that hot becomes cold. You're just measuring temperature. That's why we know there's no bad guys and good guys, because you're just measuring the same thing. You're just measuring the temperature. There's no fast, there's no slow. You're just measuring speed. You see what I'm saying? There's no light, there's no dark. You're just measuring radiation. You feel me? There's no in or no out. You're just measuring space. It's just space. It's just stuff. You can't have up without the down. You can't have in without the out. You feel me? You guys get what I'm saying. You don't need to be Bill Nye the fucking science guy or be religious to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is common sense. You can't have right without left. So that's what I mean. Oscillation. The way the moon is whipping around the planet. The way the planet is whipping around the sun. The way the universe and the law of probability is expanding. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm talking about is vibration. I'm talking about oscillation. We can prove it. We can put it in a lab. You know, waves, particles, stuff like that. Yo, Scott, what up, man? Yo, Swarmies for life, man. Y'all know what time it is. Tell me if it's loud. Is that too loud, that part in the back? Sometimes it can just be crazy. I noticed last time that shit was like so loud. So let's continue. What's up, Scott? We're doing history of the guitar, but I started to well, first I lit the weed and I started to ramble like normal. Everybody knows me as a rambling man. I ain't gonna lie, I am. But I figure like I'm allowed to ramble because I bookmark my topics and come full circle. You know what I mean? I do have some paper here too if I really get fucked up. Glad you all are well. I hope you guys are all doing good. I'm going to continue reading this. This is the last time we did the history of the drum, so I feel like, you know, now we got to do the history of the guitar. Let me know if you guys like doing like musical instrument. What the fuck is that? You guys want me to talk to this chat bot instead? That could be interesting for a half an hour or so. No, but let me know if you guys want to cover more instruments like the saxophone, or if you want me to cover something, or if you have articles or things about music you want to learn about, record labels. I'm always covering like, shitty stuff like scams and pay to play and people getting ripped off and shit like that, because I think we need to talk about it. But if there's other stuff you guys want me to cover or look up or read or research with you, let's do it, man. Let's do it together. Anything about the music industry that we don't know, or you think that I don't know, or we don't know, let's figure it out. Fuck we waiting for? Well, I'm on here every day for an hour. Let's do it. We don't need to make no type of excuses. I need to go get a coffee or something after this. I want a Dunkin' Donuts. I don't even know if I got the bread for it. I might have some on my debit card. Like $5 or $10. Go get me a nice iced coffee. Yeah. Where was I? Okay. Long and short-necked varieties of lutes continued to appear in pictorial records throughout the Mesopotamian and Egyptian history. Metropolitan museums in New York, Philadelphia, and Cleveland, and the British Museum display many examples of these pictorial records on clay tablets and papyrus paper. Say that 5 times fast. Let's not burn the microphone. The lute had evolved significantly by the end of the Renaissance. Many lutes had up to 20 or 30 strings, but the lute-like shape of the instrument was fading in popularity. Oh, I wonder why that is. By the 15th and 16th centuries, musicians in Spain began to favor instruments featuring the familiar curved shape we now associate with guitars. That's interesting. Let's do that today. Let's ask everybody what their favorite musical instrument is. What's your favorite musical instruments? You know? That's a good one. These guitars were known as Baroque. I hope I'm saying that right. These guitars, known as Baroque guitars, effectively replaced the lute as the go-to stringed instrument for musicians from about 1600 to 1750. Further refinements, such as 5 courses of gut strings and movable frets, made these instruments easier to play. Movable frets? Did you hear that? Is that what did I hear that right? Let me get this right. If you moved a fret, if you could move a fret on a fretboard, that would mean your fret would act like a capo almost, and it would change the length between your fingers, the fret, and the bridge. I think that would fuck your whole world up. I can't imagine playing a guitar like that. I'm not a scientist, so maybe I'm screwing that up in my mind, but I'm trying to reverse engineer it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Movable frets. So apparently they used to rip out the stomach of animals to make strings. I think that's fantastic, no? Who knew that? You guys didn't know that. The vihuela, which has an incurved sides that gives its body an hourglass shape, became popular in Spain, Portugal, and Italy during that time. Mariachi groups still use a version. They use virgins too, but they use a version of the vihuela today. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I feel like a crazy person trying to say that shit. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a fucking bean. The evolution of Spanish guitars. That's what I play. If you guys ever see my black acoustic nylon string, that's what I'm playing. That's what I like to play, everybody. I like everything, but I learned on acoustic guitars, Spanish classical guitars, and stuff like that. I didn't even get to play an electric guitar until my third year playing guitar. I finally played an electric guitar, and I hated it. It was awful. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this shit. So I played acoustic guitar and electric guitar for 3 years, when I first started out playing. So I played the time I was about 24 years old. I could play like really shitty acoustic guitar. And then I was introduced to the electric guitar by the time I was 25 years old. I was already a late bloomer. I was so terrible I almost quit. I was so terrible at guitar. I almost quit. Yep. I'll never forget. I was sitting at my kitchen table and I was like, who do I think I am? I had all these preconceived, like, low self-esteem type notions about myself, and some of them were manufactured, like I thought that because, I was a rapper my whole life, that, I was half black. I thought, maybe this shit isn't cut out for me, I said, I thought to myself, who do I think I'm fooling, I'm just a black guy from prison, That's what I used to tell myself. I'm just a homeless, adopted kid from prison. That's what I used to tell myself all the time. Nobody wants me, man. I'm just an alcoholic, man, living off the land. Nobody wants a homeless black guy to be in their band. That's what I used to think. And I tried to get in bands and stuff when I was in my early 20s, but I didn't, I didn't feel bad for myself or nothing like that. I was motivated. I always had a good optimistic attitude, but in the back of my mind, I thought, maybe I'm too brown, maybe I talk a certain way. I didn't look like the rock and roll kids or the other heavy metal guys. I still don't. So there was a time in my life, everybody, that, when I heard the electric guitar for the first time, when I played it in my hands, it was so terrible I almost quit. The first time I ever plugged in an electric guitar after thinking and believing that I could play. After 2 or 3 years of playing on the acoustic guitar and trying to imagine what I would sound like. It's like this. When I first started playing, I started playing guitar in prison. And naturally, they don't have... In prison, they don't have nice guitars, It's nice because you have something at all. In most penitentiaries and prisons, you wouldn't have anything at all. So I was really grateful during the 10.5 years that I spent in state prison. I was really, really, really grateful to have the opportunity to play instruments and take advantage of some of the small music programs that did exist. If it wasn't, let me put it to you this way. When I went to state prison and I found the guitar, I knew that it had saved my life. Guitar saved my life. Rock and roll music saved my life. And I practiced for 2 or 3 years prior to coming home, and I thought I was really good, But the first time I ever plugged in an electric guitar and I tried to play it, it was so awful. I almost quit right then and there. And it took me some time it took me some time to recover and accept that I had a long way to go. And if there's anything that personal enrichment in self-inventory has taught me, along with playing the guitar, is that we all have a long way to go. You know, we're always an evolving work in progress. We are always a work in progress. We're continually evolving, and we have to be able to recall and remind ourselves to accept the truth. You know, that we're all still growing. Anyway, I don't know why that got so serious, but what the fuck was I talking about? The broadened body, thin belly, and increased curve of the waist. I think these guys are trying to make guitars look like girls. You know, I don't know. I've always looked at the guitar and I said, man, that's a very shapely instrument. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just my own crackpot mind. Maybe that's my brain like perverting out, right? Thank you for hosting my stream. His innovative approach to body design and fan bracing, which is that system of wooden struts inside the acoustic guitar, gave his classical guitars their distinctive and rich voice. Influential Spanish guitarist Andre Segovia established Torres' classical guitar as a concert instrument. The talented guitarist also penned complex musical compositions that we now identify as classical guitar music. And boy, is that difficult. I don't know how to play any real classical guitar. I could probably like mimic it, or if somebody forced me to sit down and pay attention, I might be able to learn a few pieces. I used to know Fur-Elise and a couple others. I used to play what's that other one? Oh my goodness. Bum bum beam bum flim bum beam bum beam bum beam ding da ring bum beam bum bum bim bum bum beam bum bum bum. Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. I used to be able to play that on acoustic guitar in my old acoustic days. I say that like I don't play the shit. I still play it. Actually, we got an acoustic guitar here, and I never play it. It's not mine. It's Zach's. And I think that I've been waiting for it to be nice out. I mean, nobody wants to go play the acoustic guitar in the fucking snow. I'm terrible at playing, like, covers or anything, so I purposely avoid that shit. Yeah. It's a good thing I'm not part of any other bands, because I wouldn't be any good at it. Yeah. So at about this time, Europeans brought the steel-stringed version of the Spanish instrument when they immigrated. Sorry, I couldn't read that fucking word. What the hell's wrong with me? Sorry. At about this time, Europeans brought a steel-stringed version of the Spanish instrument when they immigrated to America. There, the modern guitar took on a new shape in a new place in history with the invention of the flat top, arch top, and modern electric guitar. Yo, that's awesome. That's so cool. Damn. So not only do people migrate, but even, look at that, they brought a steel-stringed version of the Spanish instrument when the Europeans immigrated to America. Holy crap. Okay, and that's how this is where we start heading into the invention of the flat top modern guitar, like the electric guitar. This is exciting. Here we go. My heart's beating. The flat top acoustic guitar remains the most popular from the acoustic guitar nearly 2 centuries after its invention. Whoa! Well, here you go, Hans. German-born American guitar maker Christian Frederick Martin. You guys know Martin guitars, but that's cool, man. German-born American guitar maker Christian Frederick Martin created the flat top guitar. There you fucking have it. Martin replaced the old-fashioned fan bracing with X bracing to help the guitar's body handle extra stress of the modern steel strings, which had posed a problem for the old Torres-style guitars. Oh, that must have pulled so hard that it must have warped the guitar, made it out of tune. Man, remember that? Maybe back then they probably didn't have like truss rods and all of that. I wonder if they get into that. The tight steel strings on the flat top also required the guitars to change their playing style and use picks more often, which fundamentally changed the type of music played on these instruments. Melodies on classical guitars are precise and delicate, for example, while steel strings and picks created bright, chord-driven music. The common use of picks also triggered the evolution of the pickguard, now seen below the sound hole on most flat-top guitars. I tend to fucking remove them. Yeah. Many attribute Orville Gibson with the creation of the arch top guitar. This guitar features F-holes, arch top and back, and adjustable bridge, which increased the instrument's tone and volume. Gibson created guitars that had bodies similar to cellos, which helped the instrument produce a louder sound. Jazz and country musicians quickly embraced these guitars. Big band and swing bands also used flat tops. All right. This is good, y'all. One more. George Beauchamp and his partner Adolf Rickenbacker won the first patent for the electric guitar in 1931. We'll have to look those guys up after, but you guys know the Rickenbacker guitars. You guys know about that. But I think that's interesting. Many other inventors and guitar makers were working on electric versions of these old instruments at about the same time. Les Paul pioneered the solid body guitar made by Gibson Guitars, for example, and Leo Fender invented the same Fender Telecaster in 1951. Together, the Telecaster, the Les Paul, and the SGs helped the guitars of yesteryear evolve into the solid body electric guitars we use today. What do y'all think about that? That's cool, right? That's a little bit of history, man. What up, Salvatore? Why, do you know some of these people? I've never heard of some of them people. Some of them I have. The only song I ever played all right is on the piano. What song was that, bro? What did you know how to play? Oh, okay, nice, dude. Congratulations. I don't know. Do you still play piano or? Hopefully you do. We got time for a couple more articles. There's a richer history with guitars than I ever thought possible. Yeah. Salvatore, did you get to see my live on the history of the drum? Thank you, man. I see. I don't really know. I'm still fine tuning this. This is only I think this is our 17th time together doing this episode, doing this live stream. So you guys have to forgive me. I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just coming on talking about music. And I'm also trying to share like what I read and my daily education, energy, and output instead of me just talking about it with my staff and with my band members. I'm basically sharing it with you guys, basically. Like the senseless, I shouldn't call it that. But maybe the common fan might find this information pretty useless. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people that claim to be fans of music, I don't know how motivated they are about learning about the cello. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what this is all about. This live stream is all about, people who want to learn, how to, from anything from like how to set up stages to embed IRSC codes and registering with Luminate to how to track down your mechanical royalties. You know what I mean? Law, music, and like technology, social media shit, stuff that only certain people wanted. That's why I try to have this live stream in the morning. So it's like if you catch it at your lunch break, but it's available all day. That way, if people that are interested in learning about, new stuff that's coming out on Instagram or Facebook, or just like topics that would normally be in the sepsis office, I'll bring them out here for you guys. Yeah. I'm not trying to talk too much about life though. It's more. It's not. I know I do ramble quite a bit, but I promise you, it coming full circle. There's usually something that's like anchored to the music industry or social media or technology. I try to present the information in a way that it could be helpful to bands or my staff members or videographers or tastemakers, talent buyers, independents. One second. Yep. And since I have my friend Salvatore here, see, Sal's like my brother, so it's like I just want to call him his name because you know what I mean? Because it's like I will always know him as his name, but I'm trying to use his stage name more because I know a lot of the fans know him more from his stage name, so I'm trying to use his stage name more. You know what I mean? It's weird. So I'm trying to, because I said his name the other day to somebody, and they're like, "Who?" I'm like, "Oh my god, yo, stop, bro." And then, but when I said his stage name, all of a sudden they knew like what I was talking. Like, come on, man, don't do that to me. Because the thing is, I'm accurate either way. So what I'm gonna do right now, because I do have Salvatore here, I'm actually going to jump right down, and I'm going to take a look I'm going to hit our friend here, and I'm going to say, so you all are with me, can you please forward me any and all information regarding the details ordering and teching Trust me, this speech doesn't know what I'm talking about. Here I go, Sal. Can you please forward me any and all information regarding the details on connecting or please let me know the best time I can connect. He said the girl's name too. I just want to make sure I'm doing it today, because I promised I would this morning. So there it is, you guys. Just so we don't get all screwed up. Can you please forward me any and all information regarding the details in ordering the drums? That way he doesn't forget about me. He's awesome. So that's the stage manager at Rockfest, and he's a really great dude, and he's been really awesome. I don't know, for all you musicians, if you ever wind up playing that stage, I think it's called the Who's on Top stage or something like that. Everyone's been filling me in on this stuff. Variety is the spice of love. Shout out to that. Alright, I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to anyway. The Twitch CEO licensing deal with the majors is pretty close. If somebody can, actually, can you tag the homie from Legion of Solace, my buddy Bruce, because this is for him. That's why I pulled this. I pulled this article for Bruce. I can't tag nobody in this fucking thing. Let me try. I hate stopping to talk to do like shit, extra shit, you know? Hold on. I'm gonna really try though. I have not tried that option yet by sitting here and jumping into the chat and then tagging somebody. But I'm gonna do it because we're experimenting. What I wanted to say before was, oh, thank you. He already did it. Yeah, so what I wanted to say before is this is the 17th episode. I got lost somewhere. So we're still experimenting. That's the point. The show can do anything. We can do anything we want to do. Basically, there's no fucking rules here. Nobody can tell us what to do. So I wanted to cover this. I saw Bruce. Oh, you know what? We can tag Malcolm too. You guys know Malcolm from Legion? Tag him. Tag him. Anybody that is a Facebook DJ, anybody, I don't give a fuck who they are. Finally, something that William Savant is going to say to DJs on Facebook that they will all love. Twitch is making some changes, guys. So I know a lot of you folks that are like Facebook DJs and internet DJs were pissed when they started to dilute, limit, and box you guys in to being able to play not just independent music, but especially, signed, copyrighted music. So here's a bit of good news for you streamers out there that are looking to get back into spinning music. You know, this would be something Hans would be good at. You hear this, Hans? This would be something you'd be good at, man. You would take over this shit. Malcolm, again, I mean, this is, this lane seems to be opening up again. So if you are a social media, an influencer, streamer style DJ, I think these people are professional people. I don't give a fuck about the radio. What's professional about spinning only 100 songs? So when people reference, you know, commercial radio, when people reference or talk about commercial radio like it's something hot to talk about, like it's all the rage, my question is always like, what's so professional or cool about a station that only plays 30 artists? Fuck that station. That is unprofessional. So I am a huge supporter of DJs, man, in the street. Fuck all that. Do you got your... I don't want to hear about do you got your broadcasting licensing. That probably matters to your neighbor, Nick the New Guy. I'm sure American citizen Father Flanagan gives a fuck if you have your broadcasting license. I know some people speak in terms of institutions, ledgers, IDs, memberships. I'm not that guy. You're not in the music industry because you're signed. I don't give a fuck about those type of people. To me, you're in the music industry if you play music and it helps pay your bills or you mention it on your taxes. Motherfucker, you're in the industry. I don't need all this extra qualifiers, identifiers, verification cards, and memberships and subscriptions and shit. If you play instruments and can hold a note and stay in time, and every now and then people will ask you if people ask you, are you a professional musician? You need to look at it under these terms. Do you go to businesses and provide a service? That is a professional thing. I don't give a fuck if you're doing covers, karaoke. I don't give a fuck what it is. Are you going to public businesses? Are you going into registered businesses, providing a service for people that are there? Is there an exchange of currency? Fuck if there is even is. Fuck if there is or isn't. Are you providing value in that space? Okay, that's a professional thing. Are you buying groceries with it? That's a professional thing. Are you buying gas and groceries? Are you investing in your energy, time, and quality of life? That is professional to me. Do you claim it? Do you talk about it? Do you mention your music or your activities and your taxes? That is professional to me. Don't wait for the music industry. Don't wait for Motley Crue or Dr. fucking Dre to tell you that you're professional. Because if you did, that would make you unprofessional. Because that means as a professional, you weren't able to self-identify that you were indeed professional. You needed everyone else to co-sign it. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is, are DJs professional on Facebook? The answer is yes. 100%. Are you a professional DJ? If you are on the airwaves, yes, you are too. Are you a professional DJ on Twitch? You can be. And this is what bugs me out about DJs on Facebook and on the internet and Twitch. That here's your opportunity to be a professional DJ. So be one! And stay the fuck out of people's personal business. Stay the fuck out of the Facebook bullshit. And stop trying to be popular or clout chase bigger than the artists that you claim to promote on Facebook. So I think you get where I'm going. If you're going to be a professional DJ, it's not the building that you're doing it from. It's not if you have an antenna on top of your head, or Sirius XM or Jose Margin says you're the cool guy. No, a DJ, in my time, a DJ is like a tastemaker. A DJ is responsible for finding the cool shit, for discovering the cool shit before Spotify, before the labels. The DJs were the people with the direct connection that would hunt for the music before we were suggested music by Tidal or iTunes. Before music was just a suggestion, you had real human beings that were doing it. It was DJs, and DJs would go out and they do the hard work and they would hunt, you know what I mean? And they would dig in the crates, and they, as tastemakers, would study the personalities. They themselves would be in the neighborhoods, in the house parties, and in the clubs, directly meeting with people to find out what they liked. DJs didn't sit there, jack off on fucking Facebook and clout chase. That's a different thing, man. So I do absolutely. I think sometimes I've been harsh on social media and internet DJs. Goddamn right, I'm harsh. Look at my standards. My standards are from the fucking golden age. The first instrument I ever played was the turntables. So, you know, and I had a manager growing up. I had a DJ, and I grew up in hip-hop music, in engineering, in, you know, analog studios. So I have a quite deal respect for turntablism, DJing, as an art, as an instrument, but also as tastemakers, as music curators, and as a direct connection with people. So I think that there's a greater responsibility that DJs have that modern DJs might not know about. There's a greater responsibility. There's a absolute authority. There is a certain integrity. There is a duty and a service that authentic DJs have. You know, and one of them, it's like a PR company. If your PR company or your record label or your DJ is set out and starving for more attention than the artists that they present or spin, then you have to ask some suspicious questions. If you as a DJ, if you're bigger than the artist you spin, if you have more interest, if you're more excited about yourself than the artist that your PR company represents, I'm going to ask some questions. The moral of the story is, I take online DJs absolutely serious. I think that I've been harsh on some of the personalities and DJs on Facebook because I've caught them with their hands in the cookie jar. And to be clear, I've caught them stepping outside of the professional boundaries of music curation, and stepping inside the lives and what they believe is the personal business of the artists and fans. And ultimately clout chasing and fucking around on social media, not so much adding value to music, the scene, or the community. It's more like building up personal and individual Facebook pages and social media groups while using ambitious, naive, and really talented musicians to get there. So nobody is fooled by that. However, there is a whole nother class of fucking people that are amazing. And those people deserve a break. I love the people that take online, internet, social media DJing seriously. I love the people that are just here for the music. I love the guys that don't just scream independent like it's a brand. I love the DJs that are able to put their personal shit aside. I love the DJs, in some instances, the DJs on Facebook and social media have a greater urge, a greater temptation to act out. They have more boundaries and more personalities and checkpoints that they have to go through during a day, that somebody in the commercial sector would have a different responsibility and a system and an environment where I believe, in my experience, there's less room for those personal relationships to bloom. So I think on some degree, just like bands on social media, there's a tremendous benefit for having this, what feels like a personal and social space, and sometimes it really is. But on the other hand, I think a lot of times fans, bands, and the internet DJs too, kind of forget the commitment and the role and agreement that we all set out to play, and the one that we all advertise, which is professional. New news for Twitch. I just want to share this. I went on for a while because I wanted to say that I just have respect for the people that are authentic and doing their best to put the music first and put the bands and the fans at a priority. And I think that that's something that DJs, bands, and true professionals and entertainers should be doing here on social media. Anyhow, here you go. Following more than a few takedown related headaches, complete with many muted videos and justifiably irked streamers. I've never heard that word before. Twitch is poised to ink licensing deals with major labels, according to the Amazon subsidiary CEO. So just for those that didn't know, the Twitch, same thing with AMP. I don't know if you guys know anything about AMP. Put a 1 in the chat if you do. Put a 2 if you don't know what it is. But Amazon, Amazon owns these guys. A lot of people don't know that Twitch is a subsidiary of Amazon. So that's something I hope that you can learn today. So following more than many takedowns, meaning, why did I have Bruce and Malcolm tagged? Because we know, like, they have channels and know a lot of people that have Twitch channels, and it's been hard to grow these channels over the years because of copyright and DCMA, music copyright infringements, trademarks, and it's 2024, and nobody can wrap their head around why we can't just play music on the internet. And the simple answer to that is nobody wants to pay anyone. And the complicated answer to that is nobody wants to pay anyone fairly. Okay? That's why we can't play music online. And it's 2024. We live in the free world. And something just as simple as play music on the internet, we can't do. And I think that is just amazing. We have all of these gadgets. We were advertised and told that this was going to be such a fun and free place to be. And something just as simple as playing music on your page, you can't do. And why can't you do it? Because nobody wants to pay the musicians. Twitch head Dan Clancy shed light on the possible agreements during a recent sit-down with streamer Tweak Music Tips. In keeping with that name, Tweak Music Tips features interviews with top-level music professionals, per the channel's description. And given the industry focus, the discussion with Clancy eventually covered the state of protected music on the platform. For a bit of a background, amid the overall absence of licensing packs, 2020 brought a no recorded music policy to Twitch, and that year as well as 2021 delivered a DMCA notice-fueled crackdown on music appearing in videos. I want to write something down here. Forgive me. Wow. Hold on, I'm just thinking of something real quick. Because there's a deeper meaning there. I just got to wrap my head around it real quick. I'm a little stoned. So that means in 2020, that's when they did that. There's something deeper in that, though. There really is, man. I gotta remember this. I gotta look something up after this. Well, I gotta look something up about that policy. Wow. While the platform has wrapped some industry packs, a 2021 NMPA deal of sorts, as early as 2022 agreement with Merlin, I don't know any of these people, on the indie side, select artist channel tie-ups with the majors and Song Trader Union, which is like a PRO, that kicked off last year. Its music use terms underscore that streamers still cannot play tracks freely. So since 2020, Twitch has had a no music policy. I just think that that's fucking powerful. Since 2020, Twitch has banned music.
Wow, 4 years.
That just goes to show you and reinforces my point on how under attack this shit really is. Like that, I mean, there's a ban on music on TikTok. There's a ban on music on Twitch. Music is fucking banned on the internet. And why is music banned on the internet? Because no one wants to pay the musicians for it. One. And two, the people that do get paid for music don't want to pay other people fairly. So music is banned on some of the most popular apps, social apps, media apps, and streaming sites. Music is banned on some of the most popular social media sites. It's not banned on pornography, though. Like, you can, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a cam girl or a streamer or you're on an adult site, you can stream music all day and nobody knows about it. I think that that's where people should look next. No, but in all seriousness, though, that's crazy. Twitch is one of the biggest media websites that people talk today. And since 2020, literally, independent and celebrity music has been banned. Music has been banned on Twitch for 4 years. And they just banned music on TikTok. I just think that that's amazing that there are these large websites where music is banned because they can't agree on how to pay people. And which also shows you, I guess, how well royalty music is doing. As royalty-free music doing well? How I don't know. What's strange about this is I know it's royalty-free music, but is it value-free? You know, TikTok has been surviving on royalty-free music, but is the music on TikTok that is royalty-free, is it value-free? Do people want valueless music or royalty-less music? What the hell is going on, man? This shit is crazy. Let me get through this. It just brings up so many questions. If music has been banned on Twitch for 4 years, that's almost half a decade. Music has been banned on Twitch for almost half a decade. And nobody thinks that that's something to talk about. That means if you're a musician and you're on Twitch, you're shadow banned. If you're a professional musician and you're on Twitch, understand that music has been banned since 2020. That's fucking insane. Anyhow, wow. Put simply, you should only include music in your Twitch channel if you're sure you have the necessary rights or authority to do so. But I'll tell you what, that doesn't matter, because when we play Sepsis music on our Twitch, we just get copyright struck for it. It's not like our label is cooperative or anything. Anytime we've ever asked our record label to do anything for us, they've been uncooperative, aggressive, and in my opinion, criminal. So that's how the music industry has responded. You know, when you send any of these people an email or you confront these people about music royalties, if you try to send one of these music distributors, if you send the distributors an email, they respond, negatively. They're, stern and unpleasant, and usually, in our experience, really unhelpful. And that's because they know you don't have the money to litigate. No one's going to sit there and put, $1,500 retainer down on an entertainment lawyer, chasing down a $300 check. It's just fucking crazy, scammy shit. But if you're getting 300, if you scam 300 people for $300, now you're working with something. You know what I mean? Running with these points and growing prevalence of music content on Twitch, which is set to stream Stagecoach in 2024, Tweak Music Tips in the initially noted interview asked Clancy about DJ's use of protected music in streams, as well as the music use issues with the VODs, video on demand. People playing music videos and shit. The record labels have kind of been quiet about what's happening in DJs on Twitch, responded Clancy. And the reason they've been quiet is because we've been talking to them about finding a stable solution for DJs on Twitch. We've been negotiating. We can kind of work something out so that it could be blessed what is happening on Twitch. I don't know what the fuck that means. While I love what's happening, the legal structure is if the label said, quote, no, you can't do that, then they absolutely have the right to do that, and they can issue the DMCA takedown request. And if you get 3 of them, then now you're not streaming on Twitch. I think that's how it's been now anyway. We have a pretty good thing going on right now, but it's not long-term sustainable. What the fuck is long-term and sustainable in the music industry? What sort of things and products and gadgets and systems are they making in the music industry for long-term success? Everyone is hooked on being fucking viral. Come on, stop talking. That's talking stupid. That's talking slick. I can't stand when people talk like that. We have a pretty good thing going on right now, but it's not a long-term sustainable thing. Then why the fuck are you doing it? And the reason the labels have kind of been okay with it is because we've been trying to work out a deal to allow them to maintain, where then they could get some money from it. So they're just going to fucking bully you. You better come up with some way to pay them or they're going to bully you. That's that. Then he goes on to say, I'm not going to share any of the details, but we're pretty close to finalizing that with labels. It sounds like a lawyer trying to buy himself more time. The proceedings suggest that a deal could usher in official DJ category on Twitch. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I'm sorry it took so long. In the end, we are going to have to share the money with the labels. It's not going to come for free. I've already told a number of DJs this, and they realize, of course, they would rather not have to share some money. But we're going to kind of split whatever the cost is. We're still going to pay a portion of it, and the streamer will need to contribute a portion in terms of the revenue, proceeded Clancy, who didn't mention licensing or music generally in lengthy plans for 2024. After that, the conversation shifted from DJs to different streamers, including those who focus mainly on gaming. Though the certain titles' soundtracks cannot be played on Twitch due to licensing and restrictions, Clancy indicated that Twitch is paying money to labels for the current takedown system. Wow. 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 So he indicated that Twitch is paying labels money right now just for the current system that they have and that doesn't work. So the labels are like, yeah, we can keep this system, keep paying us money for the system that already doesn't work, even though we know that it's not a long-term solution. You see this shit? Like, I can't make that up. You guys are looking at it right now. That's fucking intense. Did you see? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I'm sorry that took so long. Malcolm and Bruce. Hey, what's up, Rob? How's it going? What's up, guys? Yeah, Malcolm, what's up, brother? Miss you, my guy. Rob, you know I love you, brother. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. So, I mean, I think that's like a two-sided blade, but at least it's some progress, right? And it looks like there's no indication of them like interrupting people playing music, but it looks like they could be coming out with a category that actually will help DJs not be shadow banned anymore. You know? Yo, thanks, Rob. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm going to split for now, but for you guys that are digging the show, I'm here every day at 10:30 in the morning. I try to do it in the morning. That way we can have coffee, we could chat. I'll just tell you what the general purpose of the program is. So the Honeycomb Hideout, as you know, it's got Zach on it. Melissa's back there. Of course, Lexi. Lexi's hosting the Honeycomb Hideout now. So she's kind of combined what she used to do with the Metal Honeys podcast and then the Honeycomb Hideout. She's taking lead over there. So subjects, topics, and the conversation's going to change, you know, because you know, that now it's Lexi's thing. She could take it to where she wants to. You know, we will still talk about the music industry, but, you know, most of the time Lexi will be presenting the articles and different things we'll be going over. So, you know her, she's twisted and she turns in her own way. So that's up to her. And the reason why we did that is because we realized that during the Honeycomb Hideout, it was really hard to talk about things in the music industry without having to break out ledgers, laws, receipts, books. We realized that we could not go over any topic seriously about the real music industry without having 20 or 30 or sometimes 40 minutes to talk about it. So me and Melissa were like, what if we created another live stream? You know, because the music industry is every day. So sometimes somebody that sees a 20-second clip of me talking about the music industry, if they don't know me, they're going to, oh man, who's that guy? He's making stuff up, man. Fuck that guy or whatever. Especially if I'm not saying something that sounds like good news, right? Especially if I'm not saying something that doesn't align with your idea of success. And it's not your fault or the person's fault. It's just that here I am. Here's me. I look the way I am. I'm yelling in the microphone. You never seen me before. I seem like a know-it-all, whatever. You get 30 seconds of me saying something that breaks your fucking heart about the music industry. I understand it. People's hearts and investments and lifetimes are invested in this shit. I was shocked when I found out my record label wasn't going to pay me. I was I was terrified. There was a moment of realization for me too. And we've had those moments, and that's why we do this program. Because me and Melissa have been playing music in the greater New England area our entire lives as young adults. This is our 14th year doing it. We've won 3 consecutive awards. I've got awards in hip-hop, gospel. We've gotten sync licensing. I've been writing hip-hop, rap music, R&B, reggae, heavy metal, rock and roll my whole life. I've been a performer and only an entertainer since I was a child. So I have all this information, and this is something I do every day, you know what I mean, is research and do homework. And we know that the real music industry is governed in sometimes energized by the law and, of course, technology. So we knew that any conversation that we have on Facebook to fans, to the general population about the music industry was going to be unrecognizable. And so this program here, William vs. the World, it's not for everybody. It's not for music fans. This live stream is for people who want to learn about the actual music industry. And here's the cool part. Unlike the Honeycomb Hideout, we get to take a real deep dive here. When we're sitting here talking here, it's not a podcast where Lexi's going to say something, I'm going to say something, and the conversation is within the circle. This is a conversation between me and you at home. That's the difference between a live stream and a podcast. Is during a live stream, during a podcast, I don't have the opportunity to connect with you guys. People can't really call me out on my shit, right? So when people see me in a 30-second clip, they might think I'm making something out, even if I'm reading it from an article, even if it's something that I'm getting from Wikipedia, even if it's something that I really experienced myself. Generally speaking, what we talk about on here is really the experience of the band. However, people don't know that. People don't know that me and Melissa have been in this band over 10 years. It's just something people don't never realize. They also haven't realized that we never even put out music till 2020. People. It's just something people don't realize. You'd think that, maybe we have 2 albums. Most of our friends that are in bands, they're on their 3rd or 4th or 5th album. They've been putting out music their whole lives. We never did that. We wasn't sure that we even wanted to do this because we wear so many hats. But the main takeaway from that is I wanted a safe space, not really so we could call each other out. I wanted a safe space where I could bring up the articles on the screen. That's why you guys are seeing me on the screen with you guys. So you guys could say, okay, people that didn't know me or people that maybe were a little skeptical about the stuff that I've been telling you guys about every day. Instead of having to wait Wednesday to Wednesday to touch on the topic, instead of waiting for small, short-form videos to come out and entertain the fans, I wanted a place where my trusted allies, where my staff members, where my friends, where people that cared about local and independent music, people that cared about fighting for authenticity, people that care about us getting paid fairly and just making a living, man. People that believe that, we should be collaborating together and that the system is rigged. And any time that the fans, anytime that the bands, the press people, the DJs, and all of us here that love independent and local music, and the successful celebrity musicians, the people that really love music. The more we make this a competition, the more we all fucking lose, man. I can't stress that enough. I don't care, company, corporation. I don't give a fuck if you're a flea market. The more competitive we are with our neighbors, the more we lose. I wanted a place where we could come on and people could see I'm not making this shit up. The music industry is a day-to-day evolving almost biomass. And the general population and regular consumers are unaware of that. They're also unaware that independent music is a billion-dollar industry. So you people that don't listen to little bands, you people that don't listen to small rappers and singers, you folks out there are clueless and completely oblivious to a huge billion-dollar industry that is invisible to you. And that's a problem. Because the money that they make, the billions of dollars that they make from those invisible artists, goes to pay for rich people's toys and gadgets and products. So they lead you and led you to believe that independent music has no value in it, that we don't need to protect it, we shouldn't talk about it. And anytime independent artists talk about getting educated or educating their base, we are told that we're whining and we're abusing the system. Anytime that we confront unfair payment, anytime we confront sexism in rock and roll, anytime we confront perverts and sexual people that have been accused and convicted of sexual assault in rock and roll, we're told to keep our mouth shut about it. Every time, we confront or bring up conversations that lead to safe places where we can examine this stuff, we're taught that we're whining or that we're troublemakers. Come on, guys. So I wanted a place where folks could see, not based on my personality, not based on my long dreadlocks or my brown skin, not based on my big voice or my, greater than or lack thereof ability to play guitar. Not because of sepsis, not because of my beautiful girlfriend, none of that. I wanted a few minutes where people that I knew, most of you guys personally, each and every day, because the music industry is evolving every day, we could not wait Wednesday to Wednesday to educate people about it. We realized that that was broken. We realized that that is part of the broken system, that the days and hours and minutes and moments that go by, somebody that thought that they knew what was going on in the tech industry doesn't know, because the tech industry is developing at such a rapid pace, at such a rapid rate, that you would need to stay involved and plugged into ongoing AI technology and social media news every single day. And that is why I do this live every single day, because I know my friends, my staff, my family, and the people that come out and see us and rock with us and protect these independent bands and musicians, I know they don't have the free time to do it. So I do. I have the free time, I have the power, I have the play space where I can do the research myself. I will go out and I will find the articles. I will hunt down the laws, the legislations, the regulation. I will go find the technology news. I will go find the legal news that really drives the music industry. And I will bring it here every morning at 10:30, and I will put it on the fucking screen so you know I'm not making it up. And we can look at it, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. There's nothing competitive. We're learning about the information at the same time in real time. We get to break down the boundaries of ego. There's no more desire or ambition to talk about the music industry in a way where we ourselves become competitive and get into some sort of popularity contest on who knows more about the music industry, because we're all learning it at the same time. It's fair. It's transparent. It's mutual. And guess what? We can all look at the words on the screen and then go do the homework ourselves. It's not me that's delivering this bad news to you. When I tell you guys that streaming is not forever, that's not because I made it up. The stuff that me and Melissa present to you guys, the information in news that me and Melissa present about the music industry every day is not our news. It's the continuous, daily, minute to moment biomass evolution of technology and economic behaviors, man, that drives the music industry. It has nothing to do with music. And the reason why we continue to talk about this is because we're hoping someday that you guys realize that we're not coming on here to talk about the music industry. Joke is on you, Jack. We're not even here talking about Spotify. I know it seems like I come on here and talk about Spotify. No. That's for the fucking morons, you guys. Look, the only reason why I talk about Spotify is because I know all the whiny dudes will respond to it. I don't care about Spotify. I'm from prison. I don't give a fuck about the law or the regulations. I really don't give a fuck. I actually don't. Why do you think I'm impervious? Why do you think it's impossible to slow me down? Why do you think I have the free time? Why do you think I have the space? I don't belong to any of the systems. What I'm saying to you is, I don't feel any consequence or punishment for telling you guys the truth about it. I didn't receive any gifts. I didn't receive any special magic. No one came into my life and gave me the keys or filled my head with some sort of privilege where if I disagree or if I confront them or if I ask a question or if I'm responsible enough to ask the meaningful questions in my life, that they can take something away from me. I have not given anyone, especially in the music industry, the authority to take away anything from me. So I'll leave you with this. I'm not talking about Spotify. I'm only doing that for people that don't have the attention span. It's not that I'm talking about Spotify. It's that I'm addressing unfairness. It's not that I'm even talking about streaming sites. It's that I'm talking about a larger industry. And if I can get you to take a look at the layers of the industry, then you'll see I'm not talking about just the industry. What I'm talking about is the law. What I'm talking about is crime. What I'm talking about is us as a society. And when we are all going to look at each other in the eye and be honest and admit that we're to blame.